Before I joined the Tolkien Society, I was happy. Quite happy. I first read Lord of the Rings in the late 70s and was aware from the back of the book that there was a Tolkien Society. Obviously, that was going to be a very serious organisation and far too highbrow for the likes of me. So I just kept on reading and loving the books. Then one day in the late 1980s, my then husband showed me a short piece in the local newspaper written by a woman with a love of Tolkien who was looking for others of like minds to set up a group. A smile? I was too shy to phone. Obviously, she was going to be much cleverer than me. So the poor man made the huge mistake of dialing the number and making me talk to her. An hour later, I hung up the phone, and neither he nor I had any idea that the path of my life had just taken a huge turn. I joined the Tolkien Society, by letter with a cheque. Not long after that, the crazy lady, Ange, told me about the upcoming conference in 1992 and that the planning committee for that event were driving to Scotland for a meeting. No Skype in those days. The committee met at everyone's house in turn. Committee expenses were very, very much higher. That meeting and the chaos it engendered is now part of TS legend. For me, it was my first exposure to some of the people who had become my friends for nearly 30 years. And as far as I could see, these intimidatingly clever people couldn't organise anything. It started with the van keys locked inside the van and the insulin for both diabetics in clear view on their seats. A policeman worked his magic to open the door, but the key was broken. I ended up driving into Edinburgh to get a new key cut in the only place in the area that did it. It was on Easter Road, it was on a Saturday, and Hibs were playing at home. And it was the day after I had passed my driving test. The husband never knew about that, and never will, I hope. There are many wonderful memories of that weekend. Glimpses of in-jokes that made the group seem like a real family, and the sheer enthusiasm to share their love of Tolkien. I fell in love with the dynamic, their banter, the easy friendship. These people weren't scary intellectuals, they were fun and inspiring. In 1991, I travelled with Ange to my first Oxford. Oxford, University College, meeting everyone, beer. It was all overwhelming. And on Friday night, I went to bed early with my Oxford information and my Amon hen. In the morning, I opened my eyes to the ivy around my window and the wonder of a whole Tolkien weekend before me. Saturday passed in a blur, but Saturday night was different. Ange told me everybody did an end. I did too. I was Queen Arwen, darning Aragorn's long johns, and then I was the middle trollette, the one without the microphone. I am so proud that my first Oxenmoot, I was part of a whole new TS legend, albeit a slightly naughty one. Actually, this isn't in the script because I didn't want him to read it, but that's also the night that I began my Tolkien romance, which continues today. I was also asked to write the First Timers report, Who Me? Which I did, and seeing my name in Amon hen was a whole new thrill. I followed this up with an article in Amon hen 117 entitled Pods, Post-Oxenmoot Depression Syndrome, where I said that at Keble, the 1991 conference, there was always the chance that round the corner one may meet Gandalf, but now at home it was probably going to be my mother-in-law. You had to know her to understand the significance of that remark, but the telling comment is, Middle-earth seems very far away. That was how going back to the mundane world always felt for me. The eyes aren't as good as I thought they were. I kind of find time a funny thing. Because when I joined the TS in the late 1980s, I felt as if I was joining an established organisation with long traditions and a real history. Of course, then the TS was barely 20 years old. Now here we are, celebrating 50 years and on the very edge of respectability, with a growing membership, international reach and money in the bank. Respectable we may be becoming, but I see no signs of us becoming dull. Tolkien 2019 is going to be our most ambitious conference yet, with an art show open to the public and evening entertainments on a scale we have never attempted before. We have never had so many papers submitted. We have had so many papers submitted that they have had to be subjected to peer review, and only the most interesting made the cut. And if anyone is querying the fairness of the process, mine is one of them that didn't make it. Tolkien 2019 will be the birthday party this organisation deserves. I left my quite happy life in 1996. Ran away to join the TS, as my poor ex-husband said. Within a short time, I had been asked to chair Oxenmoot, and I had one of those "do they mean me" moments. But I said yes, and spent the next few years trying to live up to the faith placed in me. I loved assembling Oxenmoot, tweaking the established formula to keep it fresh. In all sip of wine, my mouth's getting dry as a bone. In all organisations, especially as one is as laden with personalities as ours, there will be clashes. And boy, that was a doozy. I stepped down under a dark shadow. But dark clouds pass, and for the last few years I've been involved in running the TS in one way or another, from bookings officer to my current role of OWP and trustee. The TS has been just like a family to me, and I'm quite extraordinarily fond of most of you. My life changed profoundly when I joined the TS 30 years ago. I was happy before, but I was happy in a box. The Tolkien Society opened that box and let in the sun. You gave me a glimpse of a far horizon, of mountains against a bright blue sky. And then, slowly but surely, you imbued me with the courage and confidence to take my first steps towards the heights. What does the Tolkien Society mean to me? Fellowship, challenge, courage, frustration, fulfilment, fun. Start to sound a bit like an elvish genealogy. But most of all, and in so many ways, the Tolkien Society has brought me love. Thank you.